Well, hey guys, welcome and thanks so much for tuning in to Let's Be Blunt with Montel. And I am so proud to have this interview that I'm about to do. It chokes me up a little bit. And why? I have been talking about on Let's Be Blunt now for a full year over the disgrace of the cannabis racism and the institutionalized hatred that has surrounded cannabis for now 100 years. And I am blessed and fortunate to have on the show today someone who is a living example of what it is I am talking about. What is that, Montel? Well, I told you that it's just because of one guy, and nearly not one guy, but it's because of the efforts of one guy, a guy by the name of Harry Anslinger, back almost 100 years ago now, who was one of the leaders in the prohibition movement for alcohol, who, while he was a prohibitionist for alcohol, literally walked around the country touting the fact that he thought that cannabis and marijuana was a less violent drug and would be a better option for people than alcohol. Then all of a sudden, the guy loses his job and needed something to do, so he decided to reach out to his boys, William Randolph Hearst and Charles DuPont, and get funding to pressure our government into making something illegal back in 1937 based on what's called the Marijuana Tax Act. He started making marijuana and hemp illegal and did so by literally convincing a nation and a world that this was something that only those darkies did, something that only those black people did, something that only those Mexicans did, and vilified cannabis in such a way that over the course of now the last 100 years, since the Marijuana Tax Act was passed in 1937, we've seen that almost 80% of all people arrested for cannabis violations in America and around the world are people of color, where they allow people who aren't of color to do the thing and use an excuse, well, I don't want to put them in prison with all those people. This was nothing more than a new enslavement tool. They had lost all chances of enslaving black people and Mexicans. They decided that instead of using chains, let's use bars. Let's use this as a tool to put them in prison because we know that they do this and we know that we can catch them with this. And as a matter of fact, not only can we catch them with this is something that they actually plied us with, back during slavery and at the end of slavery and throughout the whole slavery. Cannabis was something that slave owners used to subdue the slaves, let them smoke it and consume it. Let them use it. But then all of a sudden, 1937, here we come with this law that vilifies cannabis in a way that gives those racists another tool in which they could literally go after people of color any way they wanted. And then you jump forward and look at the 60s and the early 70s, where we had a government that just stood by and made sure that cannabis and other illicit drugs were open flow into our inner cities of America, trying their best to get substances into our towns so that they could then turn around and arrest people for doing it. And while this was going on, this left so many of us, so many African Americans and so many Hispanics, literally as victims on the battlefield. We weren't collateral damage, we were direct damage. And an easy way to help fill up all of the then starting burgeoning for-profit prisons that were taking off across the country. We look back about 4 years ago, I think about 50% of all arrests in this country were because of cannabis for either minor possession. And most cannabis violations are violations that are non-violent crimes. And that brings me to why I'm so happy to have the guest on that we have today. Our guest today never in his life committed a violent crime, but is the longest serving nonviolent offender in Michigan state history. He was sentenced to 40 to 60 years and has spent the last 26 years of his life in a Michigan prison for a cannabis-related charge, even though recreational cannabis was legalized in Michigan back in 2018. By the end of 2021, recreational cannabis is projected to be worth about $1.5 billion in the industry in Michigan alone. He spent almost half his life in prison for selling something that is legal today that people are making money off of, that not a lot of people who are of color are making money off in the state of Michigan. It cost the state close to $1 million to keep him in prison over the course of the last 26 years. It was one of the most egregious cases of injustice going on in this entire country. Unfortunately, with the hard work of the Last Prison Project, the Grassroots Law Project, and the support of hundreds of thousands of people who signed petitions and helped raise the awareness, he was granted clemency and released from prison on January 28th. Mr. Michael Thompson, my goodness, sir, welcome, and thank you so much for being a guest here on Let's Be Blunt with Montel. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Montel.
I really wish I could figure out where to begin with you, my brother. I want to start by going way back and starting at the beginning of the story. You were a minor marijuana dealer, correct?
Right.
Had you done this for long? Let's go back. Tell me a little bit about your childhood, where you grew up, and what got you into selling marijuana to begin with. So let's start there.
Well, what got me selling marijuana was I wanted a better life for my family.
Uh-huh. And so, like anybody else, got into the hustle and started hustling. And how old? Well, so how old were you then when you started?
I was young when I started selling marijuana. It was a
So you,
long time ago, you know what I'm saying, when I started selling marijuana. But my thing was, Montel, is this, I just want people like yourself, you know what I'm saying, to uh, don't give up and speaking.
don't give up? No, sir. I definitely won't give up. Take your time.
Man, I hate this.
I know, my brother.
I just, I just want people like yourself to don't give up on guys that need a chance like me. And
Well, you had hundreds of thousands of people who didn't want to give up on you, sir. I mean, we look back at your history, and yeah, okay. So you got caught for selling 3 pounds to an undercover police officer. However, pounds are being sold in your state on a daily basis. Now, people are making money off of those pounds. And you, even after the law was passed to allow for recreational cannabis in your state, they kept you in prison for another year, 2 years and a half. Can you take me back? Maybe let's talk about something that maybe may be less emotional. Take me back to when. Let's go back to when you got arrested. Let's go back to when you got caught. Let's go
well,
back.
when I got arrested, is a friend of mine that I held his baby. He was the manager of a muffler company, and he asked me to call me one day to ask me could he get 3 pounds, and I told him I wasn't doing it anymore, which I was. I was fading out of it. I was doing good on my productions. You know, I was doing Aretha Franklin and all them.
Mhm.
Patti LaBelle, Temptation OJ's, Dramatics, uh, and Gerald Levert, and on and on. And so I was doing good there, and that's where my love was, you know what I'm saying, doing promotions and concert productions. And so it just, I told him that uh, I really wasn't into it no more, but he kept on playing with my conscience and make me feel guilty because he said he was doing a lot for my family, uh, give them good muffler deals, shock deals, and all that kind of stuff. And so finally, I gave in and told him I'd do it for him. And I'd get him 3 pounds of marijuana. So that's what happened. Gave him 3 pounds of marijuana, and come to find out that he was working for the police.
'Cause they had
And
made a deal with him.
he had some problems of his own. I didn't know that, and so he gave me up for to save himself, save him and his wife.
And, you know, the viol they arrested you for the marijuana, and they used the marijuana as an opportunity to then search your house, correct?
Yeah. They used the marijuana to search my house, but they knew all the time that there was no buy money in the house. What it was they wanted to find something to put in my house so they can get a gun charge, and for they can get a gun charge, or get a gun charge, they can stack the charges on it, and that's what they do in Michigan, Montel. They stack charges on you a lot, especially if you're a person of color. They stack charges on you, and another thing they do, they put the habitual offender on, and they create something that put the habitual offender when they stack the charges, and that's what they do. People in Michigan, it's like having a rope and hanging a person by his color, by color skin, and so basically what I'm saying is Michigan laws and the justice system is broken. Man, it's broken. And I'm talking about the hatred. Now, look what they did to me. The judge, they need to check some of these judges out, man, because this lady gave me 42 to 60 years for 3 pounds of marijuana and felony firearm. Man, come on, man. I didn't have no gun even was even connected to the crime. But
And
they,
the guns, let's talk about that because when they went and they searched your house, they found a gun in a safe, which was
yeah,
a antique.
right, right.
That was something that was just a collector's item, not a
Collector's
gun
item,
for
right,
being used, and your wife had a gun that was a legally registered weapon, but
right.
they stacked it up against you because you had a prior arrest and said that
There
since
you
you
go.
domicile, that must then belong to you too, even though they knew it didn't belong to you.
Yeah, right.
And so that's the reason why they were able to give you that 40 to 60 years.
There you go. Because after you put the picture on me and they find the guns and I had a prior record, so now the guns have become a floater. And now they can give me life. And that's what a lot of young people don't understand, man. They don't understand that don't let them just pat you on the wrist and say, okay, well, we give you probation. But the thing is, when they stack them felonies on you, oh man, you know what I'm saying? You dealing with a life bit.
And, you know, I mean, now did you not have was it a public defender that handled your case back then, or did you have a real lawyer?
No, had a lawyer. I had a lawyer, but the lawyer was smoking crack.
Yikes.
Uh, he was. They found him in hiding in a closet when he did a raid. He was in hiding in a closet, and kind of found I gave him $40,000 to represent me, and he's smoking. I didn't know that.
That's absolutely insane. And so you really didn't have reasonable representation. So, I mean, okay, so you go through the trial. While the trial was going on, did you think that judge was going to say to you 40 to 60 years?
No, not even close. I didn't think that. Because I asked my lawyer when she said it. I asked my lawyer. I turned to my lawyer. I said, "Man, what did she say? What did she say?" And he said, "Just a minute. Just be cool. Just be calm." And then so he said, "Your Honor, for clarification to the court, is you talking about 42 to 60 months?" She said, "No, 42 to 60 years."
And what went through your heart and mind when those words came out, sir?
Well, I thought she was crazy. You
Absolutely.
know, I said, man, she crazy. You know, I mean, man, it's just like, man, I know guys that put broomstick up somebody's ass and kill them and then get no 42 to 60 years.
Right. And they led you out of the courtroom, put handcuffs on you, took you in, put you in that bus to take you
Well,
to.
when they got me in the back, they said, one of the officers said, and my lawyer told me this week, cool. He said, O.J. Simpson should have been wearing these shoes.
That's crazy.
And so I just looked at him. Said, wow, O.J. Simpson. I got something to do with O.J. Simpson.
Sick, my friend. So, I mean, did you think immediately you'd be able to get an appeal heard and they would change this? Like, what was this 1996?
Yeah, but I didn't think I'd be in prison 2 years, Montel. I didn't think I'd be in prison 2 years. I would bet anybody I ain't be no prison. This ain't gonna stick. Ain't no way this court system, appeal system will let this stand. And then 25 years later.
And through that 25-year, well, first off, the first year ticks by. And I want to go back to that first night in that prison cell. You said you were sitting there going, "No, this ain't real. This can't be real. It's not going to be real. I ain't going to be here for 20 for no 40 years. That's not happening."
Right.
Day 5 goes by, and what were you saying? Holy shit!
Well, I started facing reality. I started facing reality that there's something wrong with this system.
And did you get lawyers to start the process of appeal
Oh
immediately?
man, lots of money. Lots of money went to appeal lawyers. 17,000 here, 20,000 here. Just and they just them lawyers just eating me up, and that's the reason why I don't smile with lawyers like I used to, because these lawyers is playing the game as well.
Right. They just kept taking your money and not solving the problem.
Just taking my money, and it's just but I'm just saying they're taking my money, but how many others' money they taking?
Right.
I'm just talking about where do it stop at, Montel? When do a guy get representation in this country? I mean, where do it start at? I thought it started when you pay a little lawyer and he supposed to have some kind of character about himself. And it seemed like when you pay a lawyer, you got to worry about him.
Right. So, how, Michael, how, again, your record in prison was a model prisoner, but how did you keep yourself focused? What was going on that first 4 year, the first year? How did you keep yourself focused the first year?
Well, I kept my so focus because I kept the faith. I kept the faith that it was going to happen. I never lost faith that it was going to happen. I knew, I knew at some point it was going to happen, but I didn't think 25 years later. So I didn't think it was that far.
I
But
mean, well, along the way, you filed for clemency? Governor Whitmer became the governor, what, in oh,
yeah,
20, 2016 or so, or 20, I don't know how long she was when she became governor, but you filed for clemency before Governor Whitmer, did you not?
right, right. A Republican governor, yes, Snyder.
So,
Yeah, I filed with him, and I didn't expect too much or nothing. He held my petition for a long time, and then when he get ready to leave, and then he decided not to grant it.
he just denied it.
Yeah, he just said, but he held it so long, and I thought it was an oversight. I thought, and the mayor, Flint right now, Sheldon Newton, told me that he thought he was going to do something with it. And come find out he never did.
And I mean, what were people saying to you, even, I mean, while you were going, look, I mean, come on now, stop and put the reality hat on here. Look at my case. Why are people treating me this way? What was the answer that you would get?
Well, I stopped worrying about that at my job. I stopped worrying about what they was thinking. I was trying to now turn to what my nature, the nature of me, and that's saving other people. And and I started this thing called wash your heart off. And I did some workshops with some young people in there, and man, they were really loving it. And I let them know how much uh, an honorable man means to me. And I also let them know that the only one can give orders of them gangbangers. I said the only one can give orders is the one who's earned stripes. I said anybody been to the military tell you you can't take it. They don't know nobody giving orders in the military unless they earn some stripes. And so you got these young people out, these gangs and trying to imitate military. And they got their little sergeants and all that. You know what I'm saying? I said, man, you guys playing games. And so what I did is I broke it down to them in a way they can understand it. Told them that I said, you got a guy who used to be an A student, and then he he started using drugs and he started getting kicked in the ass and slapped around in the streets and nobody showed him no respect and he lived underneath the bridge. And so then he caught a case and he come to prison. They wash him off, put him the same clothes on. Everybody looked the same. So you don't know who this man is. This man lived underneath the bridge. But now he didn't come in here and he remember he when he was a student and now he he can read the Bible, he can read the Quran well, he can read the laws to them guys. And now he really profound to some of the young guys and he really fascinates them. And but they don't know where he come from, but now he's giving orders now. He's giving this man orders, put his life on the line because just for his word. And then, but what they don't know, this man ain't never earned no stripes, but he giving orders, and this happens all over the world. People that giving orders and young guys following guys is that they much way smarter than the guys that they giving them the orders. These young guys is following guys that's that don't have nothing coming, but they got a whole lot coming. The only thing they got to do is just have more confidence in themselves. And my thing was when I went to prison, Montel, was I went in. Well, they called me Miko, and I went in and I said that my name is Miko, not Chico, and I ain't gonna change my name for nobody. I went in with one name. I'm coming out with one name. I don't join nothing. And I said that I put it that I'm a man, just like another man, and I salute anybody that stands up like a man. But the ones who can't, I don't down them because there's a lot of pressure they put on the young people in prison right now. A lot of pressure. And that's the reason why one of the things I want to talk about, because these streets is bloody. A lot of blood all over the streets, man, because they're not listening. And
Right.
they don't care. They don't care to try to stop the blood. And I did 25 years, and they can use me as a study, man. And I can tell them some things that they can do to simply kill all this, man. They can kill all this, but they don't care. They don't want it because that workshop I was telling you about, the one that I was doing with the young people, it was so successful. It had nothing to do with no certificate. It just had something with got to do with a guy's heart. If a guy wanted to wash his heart off, because everything starts with the heart. And if you wash that heart off, man, you can be truly free.
You were helping those guys, and they were the guys going through your program were staying out of trouble, right?
They're staying out of trouble, but what's so bad about one day they told us to stop it. They no longer want us to do them workshops. And I said, ask them why. And they said, we just don't want it. So what I'm telling you is they couldn't believe that these guys was following this program. And they couldn't believe they were following this program and they weren't getting no certificates, no nothing. They was doing it on their own. They was committed to something on their own for themselves. They couldn't believe that, Montel.
And they made you stop it.
They made me stop it. They made me stop it. And so I said to myself, I said, man, I wonder, do they really give a damn? Do they really care? Do they really want want peace in this country? Do they want love in this country? Do they even care about love? And I just that confused me, man. You know,
How many years ago was that, or how many years into your time was that?
well,
Did you
that was just recently I did this, you know what I'm saying? Right before I came out, it's just about 2 years after I come out.
2 years before you came out, they made you
Yeah,
stop?
yeah, 2 years before I came out, and they didn't give no any reason, and it just them young guys was really loving it, man. They was front and center every time we did a bread breaking. We fixed for everybody, and everybody had a meal, and we had pops and everything. And so I asked the guy who was doing it with me. I said, "How many people you think gonna salute me when I tell them when I salute them from the heart?" Because they gang bangers, they belong to different organizations and stuff like that. I said, "How many people you think would salute?" And he said, "Probably about 4." Montel, I saluted them from my heart to their heart, and every one of them did it at the same time. Every one. And my friend didn't think but 4 was going to do it, and that right there told me that I touched something. I moved
Well,
something.
even though, but I mean, now the system acknowledged the fact that you were model, acknowledged the fact that you were doing good for other inmates, but they still made you stop your program.
Yes. And the question is why? Why would they want to stop something that was doing good?
And they never gave you an answer.
No.
During all that time that you were trying to do good for others, you were still trying to get out. I mean, I know that back in 2018, again, you said that you first applied, or I guess you must have filed with Governor Snyder before 2018,
Right, right.
clemency. And you didn't have the end swell, or you didn't have the swell of support that you got under the Whitmer administration. When you started to find out that there were people on the outside that were starting to root for you and starting to talk about how egregiously offensive it was for you to be in there for as long as you were, how did that make you feel?
Man, it made me feel good, you know what I'm saying? And and, and especially somebody that, you know what I'm saying, I have a lot of respect for, his talk show, such as yours. It made me feel good because that gave me some real hope. And then when Chelsea Handler and Sean King and everybody started coming on board, and that was a blessing. Then Snoop Dogg and all of them started making comments. That was an honor, man. I mean, to receive that from them, and they didn't have to do that. And then when Kim Kardashian uh, got the lawyer for me, Kim out of Ohio, and that lawyer, she fought hard. She fought real hard, and so it just all them people didn't even know me. Didn't even know me, but they was fighting for me. And
Well, yeah.
you fought, man. You fought. You fought hard. You was coming. I said, man, wait a minute. I think I met him somewhere before. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you fight like you been knowing me all your life, man. And
Well, you know what? I've known of you for quite a long time and always had respect for you, my friend, and really thought that it was just pure and simple insanity. I kept thinking every step. I will tell you that I kept thinking it's going to happen tomorrow. It's going to happen tomorrow. They're going to let him out tomorrow. They're going to make a decision tomorrow. I mean, and I'm sure that when you started getting and found out you got a couple 100,000 people that signed a petition for you, you must have felt the same way that this is gonna happen real soon, but it still took another 2.5 years.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, man, and I didn't think I had another 2.5 years in me. I really didn't, you
I don't
know.
know. Yeah, I mean, I know. Now, again, when Governor between Whitner Snyder and Whitmer, you read the newspaper, so then you hear that the state of Michigan passes a law that allows for marijuana to be sold legally. What did that I see you roll your eyes, my brother? I mean, what went through your mind, man? Come on.
Shoot, man, I was wondering, was I crazy or they crazy? You know what I'm saying? Because I said, "Man, wait, this don't take no brains. Just take common sense." You know, this is like some simple stuff, man. It don't take no rocket science to figure out. You know what I'm saying? This man. Well, now since you legalize everything, you know what I'm saying? Why is this man still lingering in prison?
Right. I mean, and what was the answer you were getting from other people, or from lawyers, or from the jail system? What were they saying?
But it was lost as much as I was because they they were wondering, man, why you still in prison? What's going on? What your lawyer doing? Everything. So it just everybody was fighting, man, but it seemed like nothing was going. Everything was at a stalemate, you know. And until people like yourself and other people started, kicking the doors down, and start spitting the truth to them. And I knew I was gonna be all right, but I just didn't know when.
Right. You never gave up hope.
No, I never given up hope because the people that believed in me, they didn't never give up hope.
All right. You lost your father, your mother, you lost your son while you were in prison, did you not?
Yeah, right.
Somebody told me that what year was it that you went to your mother's funeral, right? And they sent you there handcuffed.
Yeah, yeah, they sent me there handcuffed. Matter of fact, they didn't only send me there handcuffed. Uh, they forgot to send me, and my my nephew was the state representative at the time, and and he raised hell to get me there, told him to get me there. And so they had to take me to the church. Usually they take you to the funeral home, but they had to take me to the church because they wasn't going to even they wasn't even going to take me at first.
It's insanity, my friend. What has it been like? Tell me a little bit about, I mean, well, first off, let's back up. When you finally heard the news, they let you out at what, 4 in the morning?
Yeah, now that's interesting. First they said I was going to get out at 8 o'clock in the morning, like everybody else do. And then they come back and said, "No, you leaving at 4." I said, "Well, yeah, you got time to call your people." And you said, "Get at 4 o'clock in the morning." I said, 4 o'clock in the morning. I said, "Wow." So then not only did they let me out at 4 o'clock in the morning, man, they didn't give me no kind of reentry. I didn't know nothing about nothing. I was wondering what I'm supposed to do. And then giving a person a duffel bag and take home with you. I said, no, no, man. I said, against policy and everything else. Man, they gave me a duffel bag. And and I'm looking there, I asked my daughter, I said, where you get this duffel bag at? She said, they gave it to me and told me, go ahead and take it. Your clothes and some of your property is in there. I said, they gave you a duffel bag? Montel, that's nowhere they'll give you a duffel bag to take home, but they gave me one.
And they didn't even prep you for leaving prison? They
No,
didn't gi
no, no, they didn't give me no prepping. They didn't give me anything. They supposed to give me some of the stuff that when they take him when I first went to prison. If they got it, they supposed to give it back to me. But they didn't give me anything like that. I was
and
lost. I was coming out. I was coming out of prison like this. If you see me, and you see the first day I walked out, I was doing like this. Because I was doing like that because I want to know was I really truly free? Because man, I didn't know if I was truly free. I was feeling like somebody just let me out the jungle. Just let me out the jungle and put me in the city.
that's so crazy. I mean, I mean, are you? Tell me your status. Did they give you clemency, or did she pardon you? What is the status? What was the decision?
They gave him a commutation.
Commutations. That
Yeah,
means they
okay.
basically let you out for time served.
No, they uh, let me go free, but they gave me 4 years probation.
4 years probation.
Yeah, so that's basically what I'm doing. I'm still doing prison time. Because I got walk with white gloves on. I got any little thing can put me back in prison. They can lie on me and put me back in prison. Right now, 4 years is too much, man, for anybody after they're done 25 years. And then you give them another 4 years. When you see that you made a mistake and you see that you should correct this mistake many years ago, but now you refuse to correct the mistake, and so you make it sound like you done did something for me when you set me free. But at the same time, you gave me 4 years to do it under your jurisdiction.
And like now, I mean, I'm just gonna say you're 70 years old, right?
Yes,
So they can't require you to find a job because there's nobody out there hiring for people of your age, right?
right.
But is that a requirement that you had to find a job?
Well, yeah, but I got that's something I want to speak about as well. Montel, there are some good people in the industry, marijuana industry, and just so happened one reached out to me when I was in prison. His name Bob Dodge, and he reached out to me, man. And he not only that, he bought my daughter a bed, bought her something else, during the time I was locked up. My daughter she came back to me, Dad, you got to meet this guy. This guy is real. He's a good guy, and he want to help you. I said, yeah, well, okay. And so I didn't really pay too much attention to it. And then when I got out, when I got released, I met him at this dinner they had for me. When I got released, and I spoke to him, man, and he felt real. You know how you can get good vibes from somebody, how you
No.
can, and I deal on that spiritual thing. You know what I'm saying? I I can flow with another guy's spirit. That's what I feel, and that's what kept me alive all these. You know what I'm saying? Because I can experience, and his spirit was real. And when he spoke, I felt him, and everything that he said, Montel, he done. Like I got this cane right here. I've been crying for his pain for 14 years. Uh, I've just been in pain, man. It just feel like my groin, feel like it hurt. Come to find out, I had a bad hip, man. You know what I'm saying? Hip I wore it down after so many years, it wore it down. And so he picked up the phone and got me an MRI done and scam and everything. And they seen that, man, my bone was rubbing against another bone. It got that bad because I've been crying for 14 years for some help. And the healthcare system is all the way broken. They do not care. And so he picked up the phone and got me that. Then he got me the doctor, and now I got to have surgery tomorrow.
Oh my goodness. I hope it goes well.
Yeah,
They're doing a hip replacement.
yeah, right.
Got it. I know. Hmm. In Michigan, wow. I wish I would have known about that ahead of time. Because there's a guy who's a very close friend of mine who is one of the top hip replacement doctors in the country is in Flint, Michigan.
What?
Yes, one of the top ones in the country. I would have reached out to him for you if I'd have known that earlier.
Oh, my dear man.
Sorry, my friend, but
Yeah, it's all
are
right.
they gonna do it? Are they doing it robotically? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't know anything, but the guy that I was speaking about is right here next to me. His name Bob Dodge. He's ready to. He want to help me get the doctor that examined me, and they've been real thorough, man. And then help me get the dentist. The did man, matter of fact, she called me today and asked if I need anything, some help to make sure everything was straight. And she been an angel, man. It just uh uh him, the reason why I speak about him, that's the reason why I can't speak about all marijuana companies, because some is doing good for the people, and thank God they got some big marijuana companies because they got the heart to do something real good for the people that need help,
Mhm.
and they listen, man. They listen. If you go to them with uh, something that got some fruit to it, they'll listen to you. But if you go to them just trying to get some money and trying to play games, they don't. They shouldn't listen to you. But the thing is, they got some good people in the industry. All of them is not bad. Just like
Oh, no,
everybody.
the industry did step up to the plate to help you, my friend. I mean, I know that, the Last Prison Project, which is sponsored by the industry, um, a lot of people came through, signed petitions, and literally did a lot of the hard work and heavy lifting to help get you out. Are they helping you right now trying to find a job? But again, I didn't answer me with that question. Does the state require you to have a job now?
Yeah, okay, but let me ask you, let me ask the question. You're right, because I didn't answer the question.
That's it.
Uh, uh, I am hired by him,
Got it.
uh, and he hired me, and he been paying me every month, good out of my town, and he been making sure I got everything I need. And the home I'm living in right now, it's a beautiful home. He made sure and through this, Sean King, he stepped up like never before through this GoFundMe thing, and so it just like when I need, like I need somebody to operate this computer, stuff like that, because I wouldn't, you got to understand, man, I'm totally ignorant to these computers. I'm trying to get used to the car talking to me, what I'm saying, and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get familiar with that because you know, I'm touching it, and I'm trying to really, man, how the hell they did this? They got a car can tell you can be in California, and I can tell you punch it in, and they can tell you take me to California. Man, that ain't something you just look over. Man, that's some brilliant stuff going on, man. Mind wise.
Yeah, so many things changed from the time that you went into the time now. I mean, are you finding it? Do people recognize you on the streets there?
Yeah, they recognize me. Yeah, they recognize me. It's funny, but they show a lot of love, Montel.
Yeah,
Show a lot of love, man. I
I
mean,
know. Yeah, look, I know one of the big reasons why you were able to get out, it was because of COVID. I mean, the fact that COVID was hitting and you were suffering from health issues yourself. How did you find COVID being dealt with while you were in prison?
no, I had COVID.
You had COVID too, right?
Yeah, yeah, I had COVID. Look, man, I woke up one day, man. I had a beard, and I was wondering how the hell I get a beard, and I don't remember. What I'm saying? 14 days later, I wonder what happened to them 14. I'm still trying to figure out what happened to them 14 days, and I woke up with a beard. I'm like this, man. What? You
Mhm.
know, and see, so it's just that cobra is the baddest thing to ever hit Earth. It don't care who you are. You know what I'm saying? It don't discriminate. And there's a lot of people that died. You know what I'm saying? In COVID. But one thing about that COVID, when it touch you, you might not die from it. Damn it, they're gonna make you have to recover from it in some kind of way. And they're gonna attack the weakest part of your body that you're dealing with. And And I said to that cobra, I went to the window, hospital window, looked out the window. I told that cobra, I said, you picked the right MF this time. I'm gonna fight your ass. And I fought it. And I'm recovering from it. Now I think that reading that hip, I think that hip is that cobra let me know, yeah, okay, you whoop me, but I'm gonna whoop you a little bit too. And so now I gotta go have operation. So that cobra got the laugh, but
Well, you're
I'll be
gonna get
all
your
right.
ass laugh after you got that surgery tomorrow because you're gonna feel so much better.
Oh
I
yeah.
guarantee you that. I know some people have been through that surgery, and you're gonna feel like you got a new you. You be out there dancing with that cane, right?
That's right, that's right, that's what I'm talking about.
But now, so I mean, but where did while you were in prison and you're dealing with this, where the was a system set up to handle COVID?
No, 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 no. They wasn't set up, and they wasn't even trying to get set up for it. Look, as far as I'm concerned, I guess they thought that they need a few of them to die anyway. Shit, this is our way out. And they knew it was coming. They had warning, but they didn't try to stop it. And a lot of friends of mine was dying. And I'm looking at him, then I talked to a guy, and the guy tell me, you know what, his name just died. And I said, what? And he said, you know, such such just died. I said, what? And they was dying, man. And I was wondering when I gonna be next.
Wow. But
So
you
they
fought.
don't care. They don't care, Montel. That's what I'm saying. It's a lot of things that I can speak about, come and speak the truth. And they can listen to me, and I can tell them what's going on in there, what's really happening. Why are these streets turning red all of a sudden? You know what I'm saying? The only thing you gotta do is just listen to what I'm telling them and start doing right. Quit turning your head to the truth. Quit being a politician all the time. You know, be a human being. Show some kind of humanity towards another human being.
I'm telling you, well, I'm so glad that the governor ended up showing you some humanity. Did you have an opportunity to say thank you to her?
No, but they working on it, trying to get it. But the attorney general, that's another one of your friends. I can
Yes.
tell. The attorney general, I spoke to her, and me and her shed some tears together. You know, and then she's a beautiful soul.
Well,
And
when you talk to her again, tell her I said thank you for responding to me. I was just so happy that she literally reached back out and sent that letter out, and it was quoted in the newspaper as saying that, she was going to do everything she could do to get
yeah,
you. She did.
yeah, and I know who was pushing her. You was pushing her.
Well,
Well, not really what you call pushing, but you was there, man. And you was there, and you was in the air. You was in the air, and both of y'all worked good together.
absolutely. Have you got an opportunity to now that you said you got a chance to shed some tears, but have you had an opportunity to sit down and give her some conscious or some real good criticisms about what needs to be changed in the prison system?
That's what our next. That's what I'm trying to do now. I'm trying to get another set with her. You know what I'm saying? We talk real business. You know what I'm saying? The emotional thing, that's over with. Now let's talk. Let me tell you the truth. Let me speak to you about something you probably don't know about. Because I lived it for 25 years. I heard the voices. You know what I'm saying? I still hear the voices. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm doing, telling her, I want to tell her everything I know that I believe that can help.
Give me some examples of some of the stuff that you think could help right now if they may put some changes in place in the prison system.
Oh, good. I'm ready to go.
Please.
The prison reform is what they just started a thing called Michael Thompson's clemency project, and 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 this guy named Horace Peterson, they got something going right now in Lansing for this guy Horace Peterson. Horace Peterson been in prison for 53 years, man. But let me explain something to you about that though. Okay, the prison reform. All they got to do, man, is see them guys in prison have been in prison all that long, 40 years, 50 years, all that. These guys are called OGs. And them OGs can come back in their community. They like fathers, man. They like fathers to their community. And a lot of them young guys look up to them cats, man, you know, and stuff. But this guy, Horace Peterson, and I want you to really check this out, Montel. This big guy, Horace Peterson. Horace Peterson, that felony murder. They got so many guys in there on that felony murder. That means that because you was there, you got the same time that trigger happy cat that you took in there with you. And he went in there with the intention to kill, but you didn't. But he went in there with a gun, but you didn't. And these guys didn't have no gun. They had no intention of going and kill nobody. But because somebody killed somebody, they at the same time. Now, all these guys I'm speaking about, they've been in prison 50-something years now, 40-something years. Then you got a guy named Robert Kennedy. He in a fist fight. The guy died in a fist fight. They both it was fisting up together. And he been down 36 years. So it was not his intention to kill nobody. You know, if he was, you know what I'm saying, he had a gun. He had a weapon or something. It's a fist fight. Just how we grew up. You know, grew up fist fighting, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. There ain't nothing wrong with that. And then you need to bring back the good time. Good time. Give a guy a sentence of to work his way down to set his own self free. You know what I'm saying? And then the habitual offender, the rope, I call it, the rope. Habitual offenders they only put habitual offenders on guys that people of color. They don't do that with white guys too often. Very seldom, very seldom. And the habitual offender, they use it when they get ready. You know, when they get ready to chop you up, or they really get ready to put that rope really around your neck. They put that habitual offender on it, which they did to me. And see, so that habitual offender need to be demolished. That felony murder need to be revisited, and the good time need to be restored.
Because I mean, I can see, especially when it comes to felon to the person who gets the same charge as the person who pulled the trigger. You know, I can definitely see why after 40 years or after just 30 years, most of these guys are not now turned into 70-year-old hardened criminals. Where they're
There
gonna
you go. There you go. There you go. They done outgrew the criminal mentality, man. They done outgrew that. And these are the people that you can put back in your community and save your community and help them. Help these young kids find their fathers. Because you got to understand, a single mother trying to raise a child right today, and she's trying to work too. You know, the child gonna turn to some love somewhere because mother ain't gonna be able to give the child that much love as a single parent. And so the child gonna turn to the street for some love. And when the child turns to the street for some love, eventually penitentiary will become their mother and their father.
Absolutely, my friend. Well, I can't wish you more than the most happiness in the world, my friend. I hope that your surgery goes well tomorrow. I really, really do. And you say thank you to the gentleman who has been helping to take care of you and give you the job that you need. And I hope that maybe they consider giving you the Michael Thompson brand of cannabis. I mean, why not? I mean, OGM M3. You know what I mean? Or OGMT.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I mean, something like that. I definitely, if I was in the state of Michigan, I would definitely go look for it in the dispensary. Look for it for sale because I think that since you spent so much time on behalf of this industry, I think you should make some money off this industry. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
I know that that's probably something that you can't do for at least 4 years, and they'll probably try to put some restriction on you to be able to deal with cannabis. But from a licensing standpoint, you have a right to sell your license, and your
Yeah.
license is your image.
That's right. That's
No,
right.
your image is again, I think that OGMT, man, that sounds like good stuff to me. If a man standing right there, I'd put that brand out tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Get some
Yeah,
people to
yeah,
back you up.
yeah. Yeah, man. Hey, Bob, I was you meet Montel. I wanted to see your face, man.
Uh,
Bam.
Oh,
How
that's
are you?
right. No, how are you? How are you?
So
Thank
he
you for what you
is.
do.
So we are a licensed cannabis facility, grow and cultivation and processing, and he is employed through us, our company. So we're doing a lot for him. It's great to have him on board. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Absolutely. So I know I got a brand that's out there that's matter of fact, we just signed a deal here on the East Coast and we're getting ready to start sending our products. We're doing our CBD first, and then later this year we'll be going into a THC line again, and maybe I'll come in and see you guys and see if we can
Definitely.
put that
I got
together.
Mike Tyson coming in Friday.
Oh, there you go. All right, good to
Yeah,
go. Good to
and I
go.
like the MTOG.
Oh, come on, man. No, I think you got to do that because Michael Thompson put that out in every state. Everybody knows about him.
I know.
You know what I mean? And what after you recover from this surgery tomorrow, and it shouldn't take you more than about a week or two, I think, to get back up and moving because they
Yeah,
love to get you walking like the first or second day. I think maybe the
right.
second day. So what are your plans for the next year or so? You got to get through this 4-year probation, but what's your plan for, let's say, the next couple of months?
Well, in the next couple months is my thing is prison reform.
Got
And just like I said, them guys, they down in Lansing right now at the governor's house protesting for this guy named Horace Peterson.
got
And they using a video I did, Michael Thompson Clemency Project. And I'm working with them. But the prison reform, I just want people to understand what's happening with them guys in there.
got
And they hurting, man. They suffering in there. And the great before I came out, Montel, the washing machine broke down. And they didn't care. They didn't try to get it fixed and nothing like that. And I wash my clothes in the toilet stool. And because of the flushing the water gave me a better rent. And it's just that they didn't even try, man. They didn't even try to get it fixed. But as far as I'm concerned, I was wearing some clean clothes. But it may sound bad, you know what I'm saying? Me washing my clothes in the toilet. But as far as I'm concerned, it was clean. They were clean. So it just, I had to find some kind of way. But so basically what I'm saying, I say all that to say this to you, my dad. They don't care. They have no fear of the consequences of their actions whatsoever.
Well, I'm so glad that you were out there, Michael. You're being heard. Keep that voice as loud as you possibly can, my friend. I do wish you so well from the surgery and hope you recover quickly. And I hope there are no long lingering symptoms from COVID. And I know you're in good hands with some people out there who are helping to take care of you. And when you're ready to get that brand up and moving around the country, reach out to me. You know what I mean? Because reach out to me because I'll make sure I scream it at the loudest trumpets you can hear from. Okay.
Okay, appreciate it.
So, and I appreciate you coming on. And you always have a home here as you're moving forward and getting some of these initiatives, brought to bear and getting people to listen. You always have a platform here. Okay, Michael.
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Well,
Thank you.
thank you. I thank you so much for being a part of Let's Be Blunt with Montel. I know our viewers are going to love the fact that you were here, and they applaud the fact that you are looking healthy and looking well. And now let's get you up and walking well. And you take care of yourself, my brother. Okay.
Hey, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And
Appreciate
thank
it.
you for tuning into this edition of Let's Be Blunt with Montel. Thanks for joining me on Let's Be Blunt with Montel. Please make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell to be notified when new episodes post each week. We'd love to hear your feedback also, so please send us your comments.